Am I the asshole for refusing to apologize to my mother-in-law after she saw me wearing underwear? This happened yesterday morning at 9 in the morning. IF33 was in the kitchen eating breakfast wearing my regular underwear. Suddenly I heard gasping sounds coming towards me. I turned and saw mother and sister-in-law yelling about what I was wearing. I was in utter shock and just froze in my seat. My husband was asleep at the time and he must have heard his mom and sister scream because he ran downstairs asking what's going. His mom started ranting loudly about what an inappropriate scene she and her daughter saw. I'm still sitting in shock when my husband started yelling at me to go put something on quickly. I went upstairs while his mom kept yelling after me, calling me shameless and inappropriate. I then heard my husband say it won't happen again. I was so mad, I put a coat on and went downstairs and started arguing with my mother-in-law. I told her she shouldn't have come over without notice, but turns out my husband told her to come over at 9 to discuss a family crisis. My mother-in-law said I was in the wrong for walking around half naked knowing she has a key and might show up any minute. I told her it's my home and she said it's her son's home too. We argued and my husband told me to knock it off and apologize, but I refused and went bavik upstairs. Then after his mom and sister left he called me childish and inappropriate. I tried to explain my side but he said what's done's done and he promised his mom that I will apologize, but I said I will never apologize and she's gonna have to wait for decades for that. He got upset and called me disrespectful towards my guests. And mother-in-law was technically a guest, so he's still nagging me for an apology to his mom via email to get this over with. Am I the asshole for not apologizing? I'll apologize if it turns out that I'm the asshole here. Edit. Wow. So there's too many comments here and I can't respond to all of them, however. I saw some info questions and I'll answer them below. First and foremost, I'm not American. I wish lol. You guys probably figured this out by my horrific grammar lol, but I did my best. Mother-in-law has a copy of the key. After what happened I told my husband to tell his mom to give the key back, but he said no and that he won't punish her for something I did. Yes, he tends to take her side more often. She's super conservative and does not like me very much. Oh, and one more thing. This country I live in, not my country originally, treats women as possessions. E.g., instead of calling me by my name they would say, Eric's wife, or, his woman, which is rude and offensive. Another e.g. is that there are lots of places women cannot access and seeing a woman drive can be seen as an unusual thing for them. The reason I married my husband was that he was different from them. Truth be told, I've been feeling overwhelmed and depressed lately and mom isn't near so I could visit and vent to her. You could have been sat in the kitchen naked, with a dildo in your hand. If your mill doesn't like surprises she should knock. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. 1. As you can't trust her not to walk anytime, get the key back from mill. 2. If my husband reacted like that he wouldn't be seeing me in my underwear for quite some time, it being inappropriate and all. Not the asshole. Girl. You have a husband problem. Key privileges should be revoked. Who the fuck just walks into anyone else's home when they can knock, ring the bell? Not the asshole. If I as a woman accidentally see another female relation naked, I would say, whoops, didn't mean to surprise you. That is a normal level of response. Not the asshole. Your husband should tell you when people are coming over. He's 100% in the wrong. He should actually be apologizing to everyone for creating this mess. I can see why your mill and sil are upset. They were invited and they had a reasonable expectation that they would be received appropriately. Again, not your fault, but it was your husband's fault. Your husband should be apologizing to you and to his own family. He created this problem. Not the asshole sounds like husband never needs to see you naked again, just in case mill and sil randomly walk in. So sorry, husband, don't want to be disrespectful to our guests. Not the asshole. Your husband invited them over, neglected to tell you about it, and was still in bed at the time they set? It's not your fault for not knowing that they were coming over because he didn't tell you. And I find it really weird that they used the key knowing you're home, though this might be a cultural thing. My sil has a key and she always rings the doorbell to be let in anyways. It's just respectful. She only uses the key in emergencies or when taking care of our dog. You were not in the wrong, but all of them were. Not the asshole. You didn't have guests. You had people let themselves into your home uninvited. Take their key, and talk to your husband about boundaries. Am I the asshole for bringing up my sister's failed marriage when she judged my parenting? My sister Julie, 48 female, is recently separated from her husband and she didn't have a place to stay since he kicked her out. Reason is she was caught having an affair. I'm 29 not happy about what she did, but I guess she's still my sister, so for now she's staying here with my 13-years-old nephew. Her oldest is with his dad and doesn't want to see her at all. My daughter is 11, and she's already having her periods. Her mom's not around, so she's with me full time. We only have one bathroom, so she keeps her pads there because it's more convenient, obviously. Julie's older, so I know she has a different thinking. She's been super judgy about it. When she first saw them, she gave the pads to my daughter and told her, "Those stay in your room. Honey, everyone else uses the bathroom too." I asked her WTF? My daughter is allowed to have them there. Julie thinks it's not appropriate to have her pads there because other people could see them. Then she didn't want to hear my argument because I'm a guy and just don't understand. My brothers and cousins are coming over later, so we're cleaning up a bit. Again, she tells my daughter she should put them in her room for now until everyone leaves. I confronted her about it because it's not even a big deal. But it's because everyone will know she's on her period. And I said there's also toilet paper in the bathroom so everyone knows. People take a shit in this house. What does it matter if they know someone in the house is also having periods? It's not exactly this secret thing nobody knows about. When she said she's just caring about her niece since I'm not being a good father setting a proper example for her, I told her I'm not the one who imploded their kids' lives for fucking another man, so she has no right telling me what kind of parent I am. And that did not go well. She called me a bunch of names and then she went to go cry in the guest room. I'm still mad about what she said. Obviously she thinks I was a huge asshole for what I said. For bringing up the issues in her marriage right now that she's in a vulnerable place. Maybe because I'm mad it's hard to see why I'd be the asshole when what I actually said was the truth. Am I the asshole? NTA at all. I hate stories where people try to vilify woman products like that. Periods are completely natural and something that is always going to happen. You are doing an amazing job with your daughter and she has no right to come in and try to do that parenting for you. It's also your house. She has no say in where to put your daughter's things. Not the asshole. She thinks she's being a great parent by embarrassing your daughter. By the way, everybody stores pads in the bathroom, but gets mad at being called out as a shitty parent herself. She is staying probably rent-free in your house but cannot be polite? Fuck no. Not the asshole. Your sister is trying to teach your daughter to be ashamed of her normal bodily functions. Put your daughter's pads back in the bathroom and tell your sister if she doesn't like it she can find somewhere else to live. Not the asshole. Women in general and young teens in particular often feel embarrassed by their period. What you are doing is letting your daughter know she has nothing to be embarrassed about. Do not let her make your daughter be ashamed of her perfectly normal body functions. Your sister needs to get out of the 1950s and stop trying to shame your daughter. It is her, your daughter, house. How dare your sister try to tell her she can't have things in her bathroom? Not the asshole, but don't blame it on her age. I'm 53 and I don't know anyone who thinks this way, including my own mom. I don't need them anymore, neither does my mom. But my kid does and we have some in all the bathrooms. It's nice for guests too, in case they need them. Letting your sister stay long-term is likely to result in her feeling entitled to pull more shit like that. Not the asshole, but more importantly big sis needs to move out soon. Not the asshole. It's not that she's even from a different generation, she's just an insecure ass that gets off on control. Am I the asshole for calling my girlfriend an unsupportive coward? I, 26M, have been with my girlfriend, 25F, for just under 2 years. 2 months ago I bought a motorcycle second-hand. I was riding with my girlfriend sitting behind me on the pillion when we got pulled over by the police. The cop comes over and tells me that the plates on my bike are coming up as stolen. My girlfriend, who is leaning against a tree where I got pulled over, now starts freaking out. She starts yelling at me that she should have known that I am a good-for-nothing thief and that I manipulated and duped her into thinking I was responsible enough to actually own a bike. She starts telling the officer that she didn't know about what I had done and that I had strung her along. Thing is, this is bullshit. Why? She was there when I bought the bike off the guy. I paid him in front of my girlfriend with the cash that I withdrew from the ATM that she stopped at on the way. She knows that I didn't steal the bike or break any laws. Girlfriend storms off after kicking my helmet that was on the ground and out of the way. It takes a good few hours for me to clear up everything with the cop after he takes me and the bike to the station. I end up trawling through the photos on my phone, the banking app, the bike sale listing, and the documents I photographed to show him that I did indeed buy this bike and that it isn't stolen. He told me that he would let me go home, but that the bike shouldn't be ridden until the matter is cleared up formally since it is still technically listed as stolen on their database. I get home and see my girlfriend watching TV. I ask her what happened back on the side of the road. She tells me she had to put on an act so that she wouldn't get into any legal trouble or be seen pulled over on the side of the road. I told her that there was no legal trouble or any risk, and that I was able to show the cop the evidence and convince him, no thanks to her and her acting. I asked her why she was scared of being seen pulled over and asked if she had had bad experience with cops. She said that she was looking to get a government job and it wasn't a good look, and would screw her if she got anything on her record. I told her that she was an unsupportive coward and that she made things worse for me by throwing me under the bus. She left the apartment after calling me an "Am I the asshole?" update. Shocked to see all the support and advice in DMs and in the comments. My girlfriend stayed with a friend for the night and I think I am pretty much set on ending the relationship with her. This of course isn't the only thing that led to this decision but is a sizable part. Agree with the commenters that she may have just shown her true colors. Thanks to all who participated. Are you sure you want to keep it? The relationship I mean. Edit. Not the asshole op. Your girlfriend on the other hand, a piece of work. She left you at the first sight of trouble. She also testified against you and basically threw you under the bus, knowing full well it was a lie. She calmly watched the telly while you were at the station for hours. Not the asshole. Yikes. Girlfriend is extremely selfish here and immoral to boot. Not the asshole, she should have backed you up. The only logical reason for her to do that is if she herself is covering something up, not saying she is. She did act like a coward and didn't support you at all. Info. Did she even apologize? Not the asshole at all. I'd be so offended if my partner pulled that. Like even her excuse is weak. Not the asshole. She is exactly an unsupportive coward. And the fact she called you an asshole? In the bin. Not the asshole. I would straight up kick her out and not ask her anything and then I would have broken up. This is in context of you owning or renting the apartment on her own. Not the asshole. Make a better selection for life partner. Toss this one for sure. Not the asshole. Your girl ain't your friend at all. If this is how she acts, she will do it again and again. Don't marry this person. She will screw you bad. Am I the asshole for not correcting my daughter when she says she is just like Mulan because she is white? My 8-year-old daughter is autistic and her favorite Disney princess is Mulan. Ever since she was little she was completely obsessed with her, and whenever we asked why she was her favorite, besides the obvious that Mulan is a badass hero, she would always say how her and Mulan are just alike and she likes how Mulan never knew what she was doing either. This is in reference to the beginning of the film before Mulan went off to war in disguise, when Mulan sings the first 2 songs. And the first she seems a bit out of sync with everyone else, and the second is Reflection, where she sings about feeling the need to fit in, and how she doesn't think people will like the real her. My daughter has always struggled with making friends and fitting in with the other kids at school, so Mulan's journey of eventually finding her path really sticks with her. That being said, I can understand how it can sound when my daughter, who is not Chinese or of Asian descent, says that her and Mulan are just alike, but because I know the context I didn't see anything wrong with her wording it like that. However, I took my daughter on a playdate with one of my coworkers and her daughter, and the subject of Disney princesses came up. My daughter of course used the opportunity to talk about her love for Mulan and their similarities, and my coworker gave me a funny look. After the 2 girls went off to play, my coworker asked why I allow my daughter to say things like that when it is obviously offensive. I explained the context behind my daughter's words, and my coworker said that I shouldn't let my daughter word it as such because others will find it offensive. I tried to explain how policing my young autistic daughter's words and insinuating that she was somehow being bad by saying them could affect her. She already struggles to communicate her feelings to us, so the fact she was even able to explain her feelings about her identity to us with words is a major accomplishment for her. For additional context, my coworker is also white, and I say this not to mean that white people can't call out other white people for being racist, but just to establish that I wasn't trying to argue with someone about their own valid feelings about their culture and ethnicity. Not the asshole. As a black woman, I know lots of well-intentioned white folks like your coworker. She's white knighting to make herself feel better. Mulan resonates with lots of people, myself included, for exactly the reasons your daughter describes. It's actually an amazing attribute that your daughter sees past race and culture to truly understand someone and emphasize with them. Your coworker is not as intelligent as your daughter. Not the asshole. Flip it. Ask your friend why she thinks you should teach your child that they can only identify with people of their own race. Why there's an issue with your daughter identifying with her feelings even though they don't have the same skin color. Not the asshole. It says a lot when an 8Y sees the similarities between the two characters, while the adult can only see the surface difference in skin color. Not the asshole. My whole family is Chinese, I'm adopted in and white, and they would be laughing their asses off at your coworker. I know this from personal experience, because of the number of times I've had some random person come to tell me I'm culturally appropriating while I'm participating in a family event. If anything, liking a TV character for her qualities and relating to her while being a different race will foster empathy and understanding, while being told, you can't say you like her, she's Chinese and you're white, seems much more racist. Not the asshole. White people always seem to want to tell others how things would make ethnic minorities feel. Next time a white person tries telling you shit like that, I'd hit back with, I didn't know you spoke for the feelings of blank people. That's crazy how you know how anyone of that culture would feel about anything. If they try to justify it by saying shit like, I have a relative or whatever that is blank, reiterate that you didn't know they spoke on behalf of that person and know how they feel about everything. People need to mind their own damn business. Not the asshole. Autistic or not, if an adult gets offended by an 8-year-old girl about relating to an imaginary Disney princess, that's on them, not your daughter. Not the asshole. Your daughter has found a kindred spirit in Mulan. They don't have to look alike to be alike. In my uninformed opinion, it's actually more racist to say your daughter can't be like Mulan because she's white. Like Mulan is more than just Chinese. She's a whole character beyond her ethnicity, and that's what your daughter relates to.